Boy, am I exhausted.
I know. A lot of adventuring going on.
Yeah.
On the old bicycle.
Wow. Still smells wet.
Yeah, it's still wet.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't... It was a compliment.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, I started without my notepad.
Well, it's probably back on the bike
Okay.
that we rode in on.
So, why don't you tell them what day it is?
Well,
and,
today actually is a very special day, as you might know, because you have seen my special outfit. Today is Cheetah Girls Day. And what happens on Cheetah Girls Day is we remember that even though we're different, we can all still love each other and be a good singing group together.
be strong.
Yeah, we can travel the world and
Sisterhood.
even not leave each other behind.
Yeah.
And it's really uplifting, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. And this is my costume for Cheetah Girls Day, and this is your costume for Cheetah Girls Day.
This is not my costume.
Is this not your costume?
I didn't know it was Cheetah Girls Day today.
I told you it was Cheetah Girls Day before when you were getting ready.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I did. Okay. Well, okay. That's fine.
Do you want to switch spots? So
Yeah,
I'm gonna be behind
you're the
you.
tall one.
Yeah.
So you gotta be in the back. Just
Today's-
like in school photos.
Yeah.
And, okay, yeah?
Oh, wow.
What are you gonna say?
I was just going to reaffirm today's Cheetah Girls Day. I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. We listened to some Cheetah Girls to get ready for this.
A
And
whole album of it.
I really feel like I'm back into it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we pour our tea?
Yeah, we're gonna pour the tea.
Let's pour our signature starting point of this podcast with some tea.
And today's tea.
Is a mixture of Ridgway's Earl Grey tea and some of that Celestial Lemon Zinger. I put 2 bags of each in this pot. It's going to be strong,
That's gonna be really good.
but it's going to be good. And this is a nice teapot my mom gave me.
Just, can you hear it pouring? It's hot.
It's real hot. So, first,
Well, that's good content. Yeah? Yes?
how you been?
I've been up and down. I've been high, I've been low. In the mountains, in the ocean. It's great. It's been wonderful.
What do you mean by that?
You know, I had a birthday recently,
Oh, yeah.
and that was fun.
That was real fun.
It was fun. I had a good day.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you were there at my birthday party. It was great.
It's mostly just the 2 of us at the river.
It was mostly just the 2 of us, but then some other people came there. They didn't know they were coming to the birthday party, but turns out they did come
Happy
to the birthday
birthday.
party, so it was, yeah, happy birthday to me. And, yeah, it was great. Yeah. And, yeah, then we went camping on the weekend, didn't we?
Well, let's tell them about our camping story.
Yeah, so we went to go visit my brother and his friends who were camping in the woods in where?
Oh, in Cowichan.
Lake Cowichan in where near Yubo,
That's right.
which we may have talked about
We're
on
across
here.
the water from Ubo.
Across the water from Yubo. Yeah, so yes, we got to see what it's like up there. It's very beautiful.
Anyways, we were camping, and this guy was
Yeah.
causing a ruckus.
He was causing.
He was just like, ha ha ha, I wish that they didn't kick me out of this other person's campsite. And he was just like screaming.
Yeah.
Everybody could hear him in the whole campground. And anyways, ended up calling the cops on him.
Yeah.
The host.
Yeah, the person that worked there.
She didn't seem like the coolest of ladies. It was
no,
like
she sucked.
Few uncool people meeting each other at once.
Yeah, it was like when everyone's not cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were just trying to be chill and look at the fire, but.
So the cops
play
came.
Some games, yeah.
And everyone's just like, "Oh shit, the cops are here!" And the cops come and they're just like, "If you do anything else, we're gonna have to arrest you." And they were like, "Okay." And then the cops left. And then they were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
They sat there for a moment and they're like, "You know what? I'm not alright with this. I'm gonna go over to the house.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna knock on their door. I'm gonna say, 'What the fuck? Why'd you call the cops?'" So they did that.
Yeah.
And then
she didn't like that.
She didn't like that at all. She was like, "Get away, or I will call the cops again."
And then they were like, "No, I guess." And then
the cops were there again. And mind you, this is like an hour away on a dirt road from any town. It's like
so far.
So the cops coming there is like.
It took so.
Imagine how they feel. There's like.
By the time they got home, to back to work to town, they had to come back again right away. That's how long it took between times they were called. Like, they might not even have made it back. And they were there. Again. Just for this one lady, and then they were, like, talking.
And the dude.
Yeah, and the dude. They were, like, arguing with the police.
For a while.
And they were yelling, and everyone else
and the whole time,
was just listening.
The police had their headlights on, and they were shining across everything, and they're shining directly at this innocent man's tent. And so when they were bickering, the police and the people that were causing a ruckus, this guy was just like, "Oh, do you think they noticed their headlights are on our tent? Like, we're trying to sleep. Maybe it would be a big deal if I went over. I'm gonna go over and talk." So
and he did.
He did. Yeah. He's just like, you just like move your car. I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't want to like interrupt you guys, but my kids are trying to sleep right now. And the cops just like turned the headlight off and then went back to the argument and like argued in the dark for a little bit. Then they ended up arresting the guy.
Yeah, he got arrested.
A man got arrested when
in the
camping.
woods.
In the woods in Cowichan.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was like it was like not what you'd think would happen, but it did.
And they definitely were asking for it. Like, would have been easy for them not to get arrested.
Yeah, they would. They could have just stopped yelling.
Stopped yelling.
Stopped threatening people.
Yep.
And they didn't do that, so they got arrested. Well, the one guy did, and then in the morning I was trying to figure out who it was.
When he was getting pulled away, the girl was just like, "See you in the morning." Like, it's so casual.
I was like, I feel like this is just what this friend group does, you know? They just get arrested at camping, and then they're like, "Yeah, well, I got arrested at this place, and then so-and-so got arrested at this place." You know, it's like maybe a game they play. They're trying to get arrested while camping. I mean, they're winning if that's what the game is. So that was our camping time.
That was a crazy camping time.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we tell about the owl adventure?
Yeah. Oh, you guys aren't going to believe this.
We went on a crazy, so I was having these crazy dreams about lots of big trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then... Yeah, and I pet a bird.
And Chris pet a bird the previous few days.
Yeah, in the tree.
And we kept on having these, like, strange things happen to us for a little while. And then so we're walking along together on Hemer.
Yeah.
Out in Cedar, on Yellow Point. And this owl was just in the middle of the road. It was just standing there. And we walked over to it, and it kind of just like walked a little bit of ways, but it was just looking at us the whole way. And we were like, that's very concerning. Mm-hmm. So we were going to call the bird place to get it rescued. Yeah,
we tried to find the number, but they were all closed, and then we were trying to weigh the option of if it was even, would it be a good idea to bring a bird away from the woods when it's not having a good time, you know?
Yeah, what do you do when you come across a bird that's like behaving really weirdly?
Right. And you feel like the bigger the bird, the more important it is to save. And
that's how I felt.
Yeah, and so...
This was a pretty big bird.
It was looking right at us. in our faces, and I was trying to be like, what is this bird trying to tell me right now? Is it being like, help me and take me somewhere that will save me, or is it saying, leave me alone, please? And I don't think that we could have saved it, but it was an interesting experience to know.
Well, yeah, we the next day though, it was bugging me.
Yeah.
So I called the bird place back, and they're like, well, you should try to go find it, and we'll direct you through wrapping a blanket around it.
Okay.
So I was like, shit, that's all it was going to take is wrapping a blanket around this bird. We probably should have just took it in the night before.
Yeah.
So I went out to go find it, and went back to where it was, and it was dead. It was lying there, sort of on a wing, kind of lying down like that. It looked like a slug had sort of walked across its face a little bit ago.
Oh, wow.
But it was still very beautiful, majestic creature. But yeah, it passed away for whatever reason, so I called the bird place back. Third time.
Yeah.
Or second time now.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you should bring it in still, and we'll do a birdopsy on it, and they might figure out some answers. So I guess we'll let you guys know if they come up with anything, like if it people using too much rat poison around there,
some poison maybe,
or like because it was a juvenile great horned owl.
Yeah, that's no good.
That's weird for that to be dying in the springtime on the island.
It should never happen.
Yeah. So, anyways.
But it did happen this one time, and we saw it.
It was yeah.
And it looked us in the eye, and I'll never forget that.
Me too.
So, to the owl.
To the owl.
I named you Gerald.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Interesting.
It's pretty strong, eh?
Very strong. Very
I'm
strong.
get wired on this.
Coming back.
Coming back. Just feel it flowing through you.
Woo. Yeah, I feel that. It's strong. Okay.
So, what do you gotta tell me here?
Well, what am I going to tell you about sleep?
You got some sleep information?
Okay, so what I'm going to tell you about is some crazy shit that happened to me the other day. So, I was laying down to go to sleep, and I thought, I'm going to have a nice meditation time. And so I was laying there on my back, and I like to lay and have the pillow gone, so I'm flat, and then I would like to just relax my body as much as I can until I fall asleep, and so I was doing that, and then I get to a point where I was asleep, but then I woke up after a while, and it was dark, and I felt like someone was in my house, like rustling around, and they were like taking stuff, or like they were gonna come and like get me, and I couldn't move, and I was trying to move as hard as I could, and I was trying to yell, and I was trying to call out for help, but I couldn't say anything, and it was so scary, and then. So I learned, but I knew that it was sleep paralysis at the time, because I clued in after a few minutes, after like a little bit of this happening where I couldn't move, and then I realized that that nothing was going on in my house, but I still couldn't move, and it was really crazy because that has never happened to me before.
Really?
Yeah, but I have had sleepwalking in the past where I've gone up and I've been walking around, or I've lifted things up and moved them, or I've talked in my sleep, but I've never had sleep paralysis before. So I learned about it, and I have some information to share. Because I was thinking because the only reason I knew what it was because one of my friends had talked about it before, but if they had never told me that, I wouldn't know what it was, if it didn't happen to me, right? So I thought it was good to talk about that now.
Let's do it.
So, sleep paralysis is when you're unable to move, when you're like about to fall asleep, or when you're waking up. So, like your body falls into REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement sleep, whereas your muscles are asleep, so you don't move and act out your dreams and hurt yourself, But then when it's not in that stage, it's in non-rapid eye movement. NREM. NREM.
Okay.
And REM sleep.
It's basically like REM, but not.
Not REM. Okay. And so when you have that, it's like your brain is switching between that. It takes like 90 minutes between when you're in there, in the full cycle, and then when you're not. So it goes around, full cycle. And then when you go in between that, sometimes your brain will get out of sync with your body, switching over cycles. Whoa. So your brain will wake up.
Like oscillators.
Yes, but your body won't wake up. So
weird.
So that's what happened to me. But it's interesting because it's also associated with a lot of fear. You get very fearful when this is happening. It's like it's normal to get very scared. Like there's someone coming into your house. Like, so there's three different categories of sleep paralysis. So there's intruder, which is you hear doorknobs opening, footsteps, you hear stuff in your house, and there's a shadow man like coming to get you.
Oh, it's so scary.
I know, it's so scary, and that's what I was feeling the other night, and I couldn't move in my bed, and I was just like trying to get my partner to wake up, and I couldn't say anything, and I was just yelling, like trying to be like, help, someone's coming to get us, and like, but there's like someone like holding you down, and like you can't move. And that's the craziest thing, because that's just like what being paralyzed is. Your body just is paralyzed.
Wow. When
that's happening, you can't move. Your brain sending the things to your muscles doesn't do anything. You can feel your brain trying, and it doesn't. And it is so crazy. And so it usually starts in adolescence, but it can also get like worse during your 20s and 30s. I'm in my 20s now, but I've never had it happen when I was younger. But it's happening now. So it can be like hallucinations and just intense fear.
Are there euphoric ones?
What do you mean?
Can there be euphoric sleep paralysis where you like, you think you're getting like blowjobs from a bunch of unicorns and stuff like that?
I don't know if that would be the same thing, because it's like, I think maybe if it had happened to you enough times, you would feel like you'd be able to control it, because it's like once you realize that it's happening, you're like, okay, I'm fine, I just need to relax, and then it'll go away.
Do you think you could like utilize that, but like, do you think you could like stay there like and make use of it somehow?
I don't know. All I know is that it was very scary feeling, like, and you can't get out of that scared feeling because your brain is like half awake, half not awake. So you're like not really in control of it. Sounds
like you might be able to gain some with practice though. Because like it sounds really interesting, because it sounds like a way to experience augmented reality without any technology. You know what I mean? Like you could be overlaying your dream reality over top of normal reality in some capacity.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. And the second kind is like incubus, which is pressure on the chest, and like you're being smothered or like assaulted by some kind of malevolent being, and like it's like the belief that you're about to die. So it's like and your brain is like the part that feels like it's being threatened is like heightened. So that's why I could hear all the sounds that were like I could hear my upstairs neighbor like doing dishes or something, but it sounded like it was in my house, and
That's
I was
crazy.
like, no, I was like, I can hear dishes being done.
See, that's what I mean. Like things like that. Like
Yeah.
if you can like.
Yeah, hear things far away.
Yeah, and really up close. Like
and be like, okay, I can't use
like
my
what if
body.
you wanted to study an
Yeah.
album that way? Like if you were wanting to dive deep into an album, getting into that state to hear it, that would be interesting.
That'll be that. Yeah.
Oof.
And then the third one is vestibular motor paralysis, where it's just like spinning and falling or floating, or flying or hovering above your body, or having like an
I used to have
out-of-body
those
experience.
a lot, and I still have them every once in a while.
Yeah.
Where I'll have the experience of being above my body, and then as soon as I realize what's going on, it feels exactly like my being falls into my body again, and it hits it really quite hard.
It's so scary. Like all this stuff when you're half awake, half asleep is
Awesome.
It's cool, but it was really scary not knowing what it was. But I feel like if it happened again, I would be like maybe able to calm down faster.
Yeah.
If I don't know, it was like I was trying to figure out what caused it, because it's never happened before, but I think I was just so relaxed from meditating like that, and just feeling like my body was so relaxed, and I was sleeping on my back still, so I clearly hadn't moved that whole time. But something that can be caused by like stress and anxiety disorder, and like jet lag, panic disorder, sleep apnea, migraines, depression and hypertension can cause it. But
those all sound like bad things. Like I've definitely, like again, like I'm feeling like if you can like,
yeah, it might
doesn't
not
have
be
to
a bad
be
thing.
it doesn't
no.
have to be a bad thing necessarily, but like those will be the most memorable ones probably.
If it's affecting your life negatively, then
we take notice of it more.
yeah, like my sleepwalking and stuff was never frequent enough that it was negative, but it was always like an interesting event. It was like just random would happen.
Yeah.
Like usually just just an interesting time.
It makes me think that like like people talk about DMT trips being like similar to dreams in certain ways, and if you have, I'm wondering what that's like if you're on that endogenous sort of dose of nightly DMT, but you happen to wake up at a certain time.
Yeah, that's what it felt like a I don't know, a very strong very strong sedative, where you're just you're not aware of reality 100%. Like you can't quite grasp what's going on and like where you are, and like but you just feel like something's going on that's wrong. And like I don't know, it's weird because they talk about that in like a lot of people, and it's even been documented since 1664.
Wow.
By a Dutch doctor who was like saying that people used to say that like they were haunted in the night by this like demon that would come and get them when they were like half asleep, and like so people like have been talking about this forever. But it's interesting because they don't really know why 100% that would happen.
Yeah. Because
they don't, all these other things that that cause it are also things that they don't really know why they happen too. So
that's cool.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's sleep apnea or sleep paralysis. Yeah, but it can cause bad health stuff if you don't sleep, but otherwise it's fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, I hope everyone learned something.
Maybe you're wondering about too much cheese?
Too much cheese?
How much cheese? Too much cheese?
How much cheese is too much cheese? Are
Well,
you about to tell us?
Yeah, so the other day there was a sale on cheese at the store, and they were selling 2.5 kilograms of shredded cheese for $19, which pretty good deal around here.
Okay. 2.5 kilograms?
Yeah,
for $19.
It was a bag the size of a king-size pillow.
Was it?
It was like
I feel like it wasn't that big.
It's pretty big.
It was like that big.
Okay, yeah, about that big.
Because it could fit in your fridge drawer.
Yeah,
was
I
that big, it
stuffed it
could've
in.
Okay.
Anyways.
Okay. Well, we don't need to get into that. But
was 2.5
it was 2.5
kilograms.
kilograms, so it was a lot.
And so I'm almost done it. It's only been about 10 days or so. So, I mean, Kirst brought up a good point. Like maybe that was too much cheese to eat.
Well, I was thinking, how much cheese is too much cheese? Because for me, any amount of cheese is too much because I'm lactose intolerant. So I personally wonder, how can someone eat 2.5 kilograms of cheese in, what was that, a week and a half? A week?
Well, I mean, there's a cheese contest I found out where they try to eat 500 grams, half a kilogram, as fast as they can. And Jonathan Clark was beaten by Vittorio Nos cheese.
He has cheese in his name. Of course he won.
Yeah. And he, I don't know, he was under 3 minutes or something eating 500 grams of cheese.
Wow.
Anyways, Matt Stoney, you ever watch his YouTube stuff?
No.
He eats large amounts of food.
Hmm.
He ate a bunch of matzo sticks. He ate 37 in a minute.
Wow.
And he's still doing good.
He's still keeping up with the good things.
There's another one, Notorious B.O.B.
Oh, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
He ate 13 boxes of mac and cheese.
Really?
Yeah.
13 boxes of mac and cheese.
I also found out that we've been increasing our cheese intake over the years. In 1970, it was 11 pounds per year, and now Americans, they eat 35 pounds of cheese a year on average.
35 pounds of cheese.
A year.
How many
Anyways.
pounds is it? 2.5 kilograms.
So, well, I did a little bit of math with
Somebody
that.
crunch
I
those
did.
numbers.
So I looked up how much cheese they recommend you eat. But everybody knows the food guides are all fucked up, anyways.
And how can you recommend a cheese recommended amount for everybody?
Ridiculous.
That
But they
doesn't
said
make any sense.
you should only have about 4 slices a day. No, 4. There's.
But how thick are those slices?
Well, no, I think they said there was like 4 slices in a serving,
Okay.
and then you can have up to 3 servings of cheese a day
But is a slice?
as a maximum, but no
is
other
a
dairy.
slice an
What?
amount?
I just got the grams, yeah. So
Okay.
I got a gram amount. So like per day, they say about 126 grams you should have, no more than.
Okay.
Total dairy. Total dairy.
Total dairy should be 126 grams?
Nothing more than that. Don't exceed that.
That's
they're
not
saying.
very much dairy, you guys.
Well, 126 grams of cheese is a decent amount of cheese every day because
But in
it would only
total?
take me 19.8 days
But what
to
if
go
you're
through
having
2.5.
milk?
No, but just cheese because I only ate cheese.
Okay.
This math, 19.8 days to go through that, and you're still within the guidelines. So
It should have taken you
9 more days. So I'm not going that crazy with it. Like I'm only eating roughly twice the amount that they recommend you.
Okay.
Like I'm only doubling down on what they recommend you don't go over. So I'm only double what they say not to exceed. That's not that much.
But that's the amount of total dairy that you should have. So if you're having that in just cheese and then you're having more dairy on top
But I'm
of that,
not.
you're not.
No?
But if you were,
If you were,
that would be too much.
that'd be too much. But I'm already.
But what we're saying is you are having too much.
I'm
because
doing double what they recommend for dairy these days.
Okay. Yeah.
But I feel fine. There was a couple of days where my poo was green, like bright green.
Bright green.
Yeah. But that turned back to brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my
That's
my
your
scoop
story.
on cheese. So
Okay.
thank you everybody for supporting me through eating 2.5 kilograms of cheese. I'll probably be doing it again fairly soon.
No one has supported you through this.
The muscles have supported me through this.
Well, it's just always showing off his muscles, so it encourage me to get my muscles.
Really?
Yep.
What do you mean?
Well, because I will eventually be able to beat you in arm wrestle.
Think so?
No, not really. Look at those
Is
guns.
that like a segue to your next segment?
Is there another segment?
Oh, I got another segment.
You go.
You got another segment too?
No.
Yeah, you do. You have another one after this too. Remember?
Yeah.
But mine was about astrology because James came in and he read our horoscopes, and they were fairly accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what book he did, so I was just like,
Yeah, I'm a Leo rising.
yeah, I'm
Aquarius sun. I mean, a Cancer sun, Leo rising.
I'm Capricorn sun, and
Probably
Gemini, Scorpio rising.
Probably brown moon.
Probably a brown moon, yeah. So like, when did that start? There's evidence of people doing astrology of more than 25,000 years old.
25,000 years old.
Yeah, there's drawings of lunar cycles on caves and stuff.
On caves?
The Mayans kept track of the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Mars, and Jupiter. Venus has a cycle of 584 days against Earth's 360. It's crazy.
They kept track of that?
They kept track of that. Their constellation that they called, the constellation we call Scorpio, they called their word for a scorpion, even though they're just dots in the sky.
Oh.
And they think that those culturally are separate.
Wow.
But we both found this.
The ancient people know.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Was just mostly that.
So the earliest piece of art or piece of physical evidence for astrology is 2,200 years old, approximately. It's made of ivory, and it was found in a cave underneath a whole bunch of ancient drinking containers, goblets and stuff, and that have been surmassed over hundreds of years. So there's a spot that people would come into this cave to drink, and it was all around this big phallic stalagmite. There was this one particular one that they would do this at that would look like a big old penis, and so that's where the earliest physical astrology thing. It was this piece of elephant ivory that had a Cancer crab carved into it, and some other astrological signs on it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
In a cave?
In a cave, Greece.
Of course it was in a cave.
It hadn't been walked across for so long that along the walkway there had formed a thin layer of limestone that when they walked across it crushed back to the original pathway.
Whoa. Limestone? Formed?
Yeah.
How long does that take?
That's what a stalagmite is. It's
Oh, right.
limestone forming because it forms because there's calcium and other minerals in the water.
Oh.
They're dissolved in it like salts, and they crystallize. So stones can crystallize just like salts can crystallize. It just takes about thousands of years. It's pretty crazy.
That's very cool.
So people, people have been doing astrology forever.
Yeah. And we just learned our signs today.
Yeah.
So, it's all coming together now. Is that all you have for that segment?
That's it.
Well, that's great. Well, now I have a new segment for the show.
What's that?
But I have to go get the items.
That was sweet. Okay.
It's called Neat Items.
Okay, Neat Items is on the way. It's really exciting. I wonder how many items Chris is gonna get. Chris is going in her bag right now. Old lady bag with that 2-piece suit.
There's no soup in here.
We want more soup. Feels weird to be drinking tea at midnight.
Yeah, especially tea that's strong.
Yeah.
Neat items, neat items. Okay, so the first neat item is this brass gong.
Wow.
Look at that. Can you see it?
Maybe you could you have to be kind of quiet, but maybe do a nice little.
It's not such a loud gong. It's more of a quiet gong.
It's a night gong.
You're just supposed to wind it up so that covered up the fart.
I tried.
That was just a ruse to cover up a fart, and he didn't time the fart with the chime.
It looks so cool.
It's cool, right?
It's a beautiful mandala on there.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah. We'll put it here.
Okay.
So that is neat item number 1. And then the other day, okay, so I was walking down the street, and I was walking like right on the corner by my house. I look and I see this little Buddha sitting next to a telephone pole. Take a look at that. You see him?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's not a Buddha. That's Budai.
Budai?
Yeah.
This little guy?
Yeah. This is a Buddha. It is an incarnation of Buddha, but it's the Chinese incarnation of Buddha, and this guy, I was learning about him the other day actually.
Wow.
He was said to be a monk, Buddhist monk, that would wander around, and he could go in any weather. He was never bothered by the weather. He was very jolly and giving. He always had children trailing after him, and he was always laughing. He had some magical powers too, pretty sure.
Wow.
But most of his powers were just like things like being resilient and being extremely positive and loving.
So you just learned about this the other day.
Just the other day.
And then I found one of the statues.
Yeah, I learned about this 2 days ago.
2 days ago? Wait.
Yeah.
On Sunday? Monday? I found it on Sunday.
I might have learned about it on Sunday. That's really cool. And it's stone too, or
Yeah.
something.
Something. But
Beautiful.
it's a really cool
It's
color.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So I found
That's
out
the
that
neat item.
they think that I found out this cool thing about the incarnations of the Buddha.
Yeah.
And so before the Buddha that we know, like Siddhartha, the main guy, not the one that looks like that, but the one with like the budded hair, you know what I mean? Apparently there was like 7 incarnations before him, and there will be future incarnations of the Buddha too. And so in the in I don't know, those ancient Buddhist teachings, they talk about future Buddha and there's even paintings in Tibet of future Buddha, and it's crazy because it looks like something you'd see in like Star Trek or something, like this like crazy big Buddha statue that looks very futuristic and like metallic almost.
Wow.
And so they say that future Buddha, yeah, they say that future Buddha will come when the people have stopped practicing and stopped understanding about the teachings of the Buddha, and the future Buddha will be reincarnated to reteach the people.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It was a very cool thing to find,
Mhm.
and I was like, I'm definitely taking that with me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my new segment, and hopefully
they're-
we'll have more neat
They're kind
items.
of related too.
Yeah, that's the cool thing, is I found these 2 neat items, and, we gotta have them together. Neat items.
Neat items.
Yeah. And I want to thank my sponsor, ListenToGrapes.com,
ListenToGrapes.com.
because they've always really been
They've been there from the
giving me all
beginning.
the grape sounds from the beginning.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even been listening to Grapes if it weren't for ListenToGrapes.com. And if you don't listen to Grapes, I mean, please do, because they're working really hard to get grapes to sound really good, and they do.
They do a good job.
They do a good job.
I want to thank these great people over at Grease Candles.
Grease candles.
Grease candles are great candles. They're made out of recycled jars and recycled bacon grease.
Yes.
We're taking donations.
Yeah, we're taking donations.
We're taking grease donations and jar
Grease
donations. And
Yeah.
we'll make sure that gets to Grease Candles.
Grease Candles.
And they make these great candles with lids. And
Wow.
you can use that in an emergency. You can, they're great.
I'm wearing some jewelry today from a company based out of somewhere in Canada, local. I think Calgary. I forgot to check.
God damn.
I'm sorry. But they're called Spent and Stone because they make their little their first jewelry was bullets, which is spent like metal, and then stones coming out of them, like necklaces. And so these have cannabis inside resin.
It's pretty
with
cool.
gold glitter.
There's weed in there.
There's weed in here. I don't know if you can't see it.
It's a good gift to give to, like, your stoner friend.
Yes, I did give these as a gift, and I'm wearing them now. So.
Because you're the stoner friend.
Yeah. I've been
Cool.
giving them to myself, though. I stole them back for it to wear because they do look very cool. So check out that company, Spend and Stone, and they will give you a good deal. I don't know that they will. They do not sponsor us. I will make that clear. But great stuff. And also, I would like to thank our sponsor, Plastics.
Yeah.
I used a
Where would
plastic
we-
bag today, so
We're standing on plastic right now.
yeah.
Everything.
And they've really been helping us out.
I want to thank the sponsors over in the skies because
The sky or the sponsors in the sky?
the sponsors in the skies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a blessing in the skies, but
Yeah.
the sponsors in the skies. Okay.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
sponsors in disguise.
The sponsors in disguise. Where are
Should
they?
we thank them as well?
Yes.
We want to thank the sponsors in disguise.
And we see you.
Yeah. We like you. We wish you would
We wish you
maybe
would come out.
come out of that disguise.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a sponsor of us, please don't hide. Please come forward.
Yeah, if you're a secret sponsor.
Now's not the time to be
That's
a
right.
secret sponsor.
That's
Now's
right.
time to be a real sponsor.
It's time to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us if you're sponsoring us.
Yes, because if you are sponsoring us secretly, we don't know about it right now, and you're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
But please stop. Do it
So
for
we
real.
want to thank the sponsors in disguise.
Thank you for sponsors in disguise and Bats Between Homes. Bats Between Homes. We're
Bats
getting
Between
those.
Homes.
We're getting many bats in foster care now, and they're getting new homes. And
Most of the homes are
A lot
just
of them.
these backpacks that I'm making.
yeah, you're making bat packs.
Backpacks.
Yeah,
I'm just giving them to people who
have
wanna,
bats.
I say, do you want to adopt an animal in need? And they're like, yes. And so I give them a backpack, and
A bat
there's a bat in it.
in a bag.
And as long as they go out into the evening, around evening time, they go
Yeah.
outside in the evening, they're back and get out, and it comes back. It's good.
Yeah, it's the perfect pet because they leave you alone and you leave them alone, but they have a home and they know that they're safe with you.
We just
And
want
that's what the bats need,
to, yeah, and
especially this time in that
we need
day.
people to get closer to bats, I think.
The people and bats relationship has really suffered in 2020, and I think it needs to change. I think we don't need to blame the bats. Bats and people are one.
People.
People.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we should maybe hop on the bike and go for another
Yeah, we
adventure.
gotta go back on the bike.
Okay.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, we gotta ride our bike again. Let's go get on the bike. Where's the bike? We gotta get the bike.